from high school to pick this offense up? I know you seem to make it easier for the players who are returning in spring, but for a first-year guy like Sammy Watkins, is that easy? Is it not easy?
Well, there's going to be a learning curve. I mean, there's no question about that. When you start looking and you start gauging things on, say, 85 snaps a game, there's nobody we've got outside of our offensive line and our quarterback that can play 85 snaps in a game. There's going to have to be some role players. And so it's my job early on is to bring in and bring along those young guys and put them in successful situations to be successful and get them their 10, 12, 18, 20 snaps a game and bring them on as the season goes. I expect a couple of these guys, by the time we start, to be pushing to play a lot. So what does that mean? And that falls back in my category. Do I have to scale back a little bit? Do I have to slow down a little bit on some install? It's kind of like what we talked about. It's not just this is what we're going to add this day. You got to kind of balance it and go, man, we're going to play some of these young guys, or we got to make sure we bring them along at a good pace. But I think they'll be fine. I mean, this offense has proven itself with bringing in first-year guys to play. Thomas Roberson was a young man last year that played for us straight out of high school, out of Union High School in Tulsa, and had a great freshman year. But again, he came in and kind of slowly worked his way into it. So I do expect it to be all right. I mean, that's really not a major issue.
As excited as you are about this talent, are you a little bit apprehensive about having to depend on improving guys?
Well, you always love. You can't replace. You can't replace guys with experience. I mean, that's just irreplaceable. So how do you do that? I'd love to say that these guys were already a year into the system, and there's no doubt about it, but they're not. It is what it is. So it's our job to put them in positions to be successful. Now, hanging on to the football, understanding the speed of the game, the contact of the game that's going to happen. That's just going to come with just getting out there and doing it. But I think these guys the guys that are coming in, they're focused. I have seen that. But again, I'm hoping that it spurs along some of these guys that are veteran players that haven't reached their full potential. Because again, if it has, then it's really going to help us out with it because we got some experienced players. If it hasn't, then that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. These younger guys are going to come in and they'll be just fine. They'll be just fine.
When looking at Auburn, what their running back was last year, is that comparable to what you can do now?
Well, I think you got to look at Andre, and you got to figure that Andre's going to get I think that's as I look at a running back, and then you've got again basic things on say 85 snaps. Then you've got to figure out. All right, who's going to get the other 25, 30 snaps? Well, you got some short yardage situations that are you going to bring in, your bigger back in those short yardage situations. How much are you going to get in some wildcat package? Who's going to be that? So yeah, there is. There'll be some rotation of the running backs, but it's Andre Owens without that.
Chad, you talked about a lot of some of these veterans, how pivotal it is for them. They've got to how much you love competition. I mean, in a sense, you're kind of in the same boat. There's a lot of eyes on you. You've gone from high school to Tulsa, and now the ACC. Are you? I don't know. Do you feel that pressure? Are you stepping up into that kind of? Are you sitting at home designing more plays? What are you doing as to kind of challenge yourself in this issue?
I don't. I mean, feeling the pressure.
Yeah.
That's never been an issue with me. I'm going to put so much more pressure on myself than anything around happen. But as far as sitting at home designing plays, I'm not doing that. Yeah. That's actually probably the worst thing I can do. Yeah. I don't want to confuse you. That's the right thing. Keep it to where the kids can execute what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Our players. and execute it well, that's when you become successful. So it's my job as offensive coordinator, obviously, to make adjustments on the run, and get the guys in the right play at the right time, and manage the offensive game. It's also my job not to confuse them by overload. And I think you've seen some of that in the past. Here offensively, they've done so much to where that they've kind of bogged down, and that's what we got to be careful not to do. But stepping up from high school to Tulsa and now to ACC, I mean, is that a big issue to me? Is it a big concern? Is it a big pressure? Oh my gosh, no. This is a great opportunity, or I wouldn't be sitting here. If I felt like it was going to be nothing but straight pressure, I'd stayed as a head coach, or I had an opportunity to be a head coach at the University of Tulsa and tried to. But that's not a problem.
Some of the